Special Issue Task Force. How can I help you? And back joining us in the studio for our Special Issue Task Force is Hyung. Hyung, hello to you.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year to you, Hyung. Make me laugh.
It's the first Tuesday of 2026, right?
We're going to have a lot of firsts this week.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Is it Thursday? No, Thursday was the first.
Oh, okay. So
tomorrow is going to be the first.
Monday.
First full week, right?
Right. That's right.
Did you have a New Year's resolution or anything like that?
No. I know you are not very into making New Year's resolutions, right?
Of course not.
But if you have to,
yes.
what would it be?
I'm gonna try to keep my weight.
Keep it?
Yes.
Not
lose it. I'm not gonna do resolutions I can't keep.
Yeah.
Right?
You're beautiful as you are.
Stop it.
So yeah, you don't have to lose weight. Mine?
Beautiful.
Staying healthy.
Staying healthy?
You know, yeah. What's more important than
it's true.
Important than health?
Actually,
but we tend to forget that, right?
Hyung, for the first time, I'm going to say you're right.
Yeah.
You are right.
Staying healthy both mentally and physically.
Yes. I'm starting to realize more and more, especially with, like people around us, kind of, health issues and things like that health is very important.
Mental health is also very important. So
I'll
try to treat myself with greater kindness this year because I tend to be very harsh on myself. You know, usually I'm very generous and kind and nice and sweet to other people. But when something goes wrong, I tend to just blame myself.
I think you do have mental illness. I think you do have mental illness. Go get help.
Your colleague.
Go get help. As the calendar turned to 2026, ladies and gentlemen, people across Korea bundled up early on New Year's morning to greet again the first sunrise of the new year. It's the year of the red horse. What year are you? Oh, you're the snake? Snake, right?
You are tiger.
Tiger. We don't go well together. Hyung, tell us about how people celebrate the first day of this year.
Oh, did you go anywhere to catch the first sunrise of the year?
No.
No? What did you do on the first day of 2026?
I slept
Do you remember?
in.
You slept in?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was sick.
You were?
I was sick.
Again?
Yes.
Sicky. But different from SJ, for many other Koreans, it was a busy morning on January 1st, 2025. Everywhere from Seoul's city hills to East Coast beaches saw crowds gathering before dawn. In Seoul, parks and peaks such as Inwangsan, Eungbongsan, and Worka Park hosted sunrise events where local communities came together to welcome the year with drum rhythms, wishboard activities, and even photo zones featuring red horse motifs to mark the year. Because according to Korean Zodiac, like you said, 2026 is the year of red horse. And beyond the Seoul, coastal towns like Gangneung and Sokcho were packed with visitors watching the sunrise over the East Sea. Some reports mention tens of thousands gathering along the shoreline as the first light touched the horizon. And in Gangneung's Hapyeong Beach, for example, people from families to solo travelers lined up before sunrise, cheering and making personal resolutions as the sun climbed above the sea.
I don't know how people do. Have you ever done this before?
No. Because I used to be night owl, but now I wake up very early these days.
So you should go then. You should go then.
Maybe next year I'll try.
Well, you got 2 kids. I don't know how you're going to be able to manage that stuff. But again, we even saw festive events tied to the zodiac, right? Again, this year is the year of the red horse. And in some places, like symbolic horse figures, artworks were on display, really reinforcing that sense of fresh start with that confident momentum, right?
Right. People also shared deeper hopes along with the spectacle. At lakesides and seaside cliffs, visitors prayed for peace, personal health, success in school or work, and a calmer year after turbulent times. And that blend of traditional symbolism and modern aspiration really captures how New Year's is celebrated in Korea. It's not just about beautiful views, but shared hopes for the year ahead. People prayed.
That's right.
For a better life. Right.
You prayed.
I did.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
I heard big things happened with your...
Yeah, big news happened last year.
We're not going to talk about it, but...
Very holy.
It's very holy. Moving on to the political scene, President Lee Jae-myung delivering his official New Year's address at the presidential residence on January 2nd, outlining his vision for 2026. Let's get more on this.
Yes, a few clear themes emerged: growth, shared prosperity, and national unity. Lee stressed that only shared growth, where opportunities and benefits are distributed fairly, can lead Korea Korea to a great leap forward. And he also said that 2026 should be a year of great advancement built on recovery and normalization. And that emphasis on growth and prosperity is interesting because in many past progressive administrations in Korea, the focus has often leaned more toward redistribution and social welfare. But Lee's emphasis on economic expansion and collective success suggests a somewhat pragmatic, results-oriented tone. And that's not just rhetoric. In his speech, he highlighted the need for broad economic transformation, moving beyond traditional growth patterns, reducing inequality, and setting a foundation for innovation in sectors like AI, manufacturing, and technology. And this includes bridging the gap between large and small enterprises so that growth benefits more people, not just a few.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention, I mean, the stock markets have been doing really well to the start of the year. I think this is really important. Another core point that he pointed out was national unity. As you know, that we're seeing heavy extreme polarization.
Right.
And President Lee warned that extreme polarization and division weaken progress, and that integration of all citizens should be the priority going into the new year. That's kind of a theme that resonates not only in Korean, but like also like in different countries these days, right?
Right, definitely. He underlined that differing opinions shouldn't lead to social fracture. In fact, finding common ground is essential to collective success. And while the New Year address itself was more about the broad goals, this focus on growth aligns with his administration's earlier policy proposals, such as major investments in future-oriented industries like AI and expanded R&D budgets to support long-term competitiveness. And like mentioned earlier, President Lee's rhetoric blends fairness with economic dynamism, which focuses more on expanding the pie and lifting everyone together. And that framing could be an attempt to appeal across typical political lines. For example, the main opposition Conservative Party, PPP. But domestic politics remain challenging still. At the time of the address, some opposition parties were not participating in the ceremony, reflecting continued tension and skepticism about cross-party cooperation. And that tension is precisely the kind of divide that Lee pointed to when calling for national unity and collective work toward growth. So now it's been a deeply symbolic new year, from people greeting the first rays of 2026 with hope to presidential leadership underscoring growth and unity. And we'll have to continue to watch how these themes evolve throughout the year.
Yeah, I think that's like the biggest task. I'm not 100% sure if he's going to be successful in bringing the country together. This polarization, this
Heavily
divide.
Divided,
It's very
right?
divided. And I have to say that in the over 16 years I've been in Korea now, this is probably some of the biggest division
And
I've
the
seen.
internal conflict within the PPP is pretty severe, so that's something we have to keep a close eye on.
That too, and then we see some issues even within the ruling party as well, with
Right.
some controversies. And I mean, he's got a lot to deal with. But even if you see like the political map, right, after the presidential elections last year, we have the by-elections, I think, this year.
Right.
So like you'll see it
Right.
again. But the country is divided literally in half right now. And even despite all the things that happened on December 3rd, 2024, there are still many supporters, conservative supporters, who think that nothing went wrong on that very day. And so that's
Right.
causing even more divide within the country. All right, hopefully, but let's stay optimistic. Hopefully there is unity within the people. Let's continue with other issues. But first, we're going to take a listen to a song here from Daybreak with Flower Road, 꽃길만 걷게 해줄게.
Hey! Stop looking at the clock! We still got more work at the Culture Inc.
Back in the studio with Seong for Special Issue Task Force. I'm telling you, Benny, possible Seong micro goals, taking care of the kids. Taking care of the kids is not a micro grow. That's a major goal. Are you kidding me? That is not an easy goal to do, taking care of the kid. You got,
Ben is too young to understand parenthood.
wait until you become a dad, see if that's a micro goal. Oh, that's right. It's January 6th over in the U.S. too right now. Oh.
Wow.
January 6th is not a very good day.
Why
for
not?
many-
What is it?
the attack at the Capitol.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, she thought it was
Yes.
like a happy day. Maybe, I mean, could be a happy day for certain
Every
people.
day is happy day.
Yeah, yes. Let's go into other major news. South Korea's president, Lee Jae-myung, official visit to China.
Right.
High-profile 4-day journey, really shaking up the regional diplomacy to start off the 2026 year. Let's walk through this.
Yes, this was an important moment on the foreign policy calendar. President Lee departed for Beijing on January 4th, kicking off a state visit running through January 7th, a 3-night, 4-day itinerary that included summit meetings, a state banquet, discussions with the top Chinese leaders, and a meeting with Korean community in Beijing. And this was his first state visit to China since taking office in June 2025, and the first visit by a Korean president to China in 6 years, which already sets the tone. This wasn't just a routine trip, but a symbolic reset of relations that had been strained for years, especially during the previous Yoon Suk-yeol administration.
That's right. And so what was on the agenda on this high-stakes diplomatic visit?
The core of it was restoring and strengthening bilateral ties between Seoul and Beijing. The leaders met 2 months after their last encounter at the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, or APEC, summit in Gyeongju last November, where both emphasized closer cooperation. And on Monday evening, President Lee and President Xi Jinping held a 90-minute summit at the Great Hall of the People in Beijing, followed by a 2-hour state banquet with about 100 attendees from both countries. And the talks covered economic cooperation, supply chains, digital and AI cooperation, environmental issues, regional security matters, including North Korea and the Yellow Sea, and culture exchange as well. But they did not directly mention or discuss Hanalyeong, which is China's unofficial restrictions on Korean cultural content imposed after the 2016 THAAD-imposed disputes. And China and South Korea also signed multiple memorandums of understanding, MOUs from tech to trade, signaling on concrete cooperation after years of diplomatic stagnation.
I mean, there wasn't like an official lifting of the ban on Korean, what is it, contents and things like
Right.
that. But it has been slowly lifting. And I think this is going to be a major step towards kind of going that way.
Right.
You say all you will about China, right? You could be like, oh, if you can't side with China, or you can't do business with China, oh, they're commies. You can say all that. Well, they're a big business partner.
Right.
Right? They're a big business
Big
partner.
market.
It's a huge market, and there's a lot of win-win situation for them if you work closely.
Definitely.
I think even people to people exchange, huge inflow of
Right.
most of the people coming into Korea is
Right.
China.
That's right.
Helps out. Part of this again was also to stabilize geopolitics with tensions rising elsewhere in the region too.
Yes, this visit was happening as North Korea conducted missile tests and amid simmering friction between China and Japan over Taiwan issues. So Korea's role as a mediator and a stabilizing partner was front and center.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, Korea's they're not going to be major mediators in this. I mean, this is huge, right?
They will try to balance the relations between Japan and China.
They are, but I do believe that I think President Lee did, say that he's okay with the one China policy. Like he's reaffirmed
right.
that stance.
That's right.
Which I mean, the U.S. has done so as well, but it's just that actions don't speak similarly to their words. But the cultural angle, there was some unusual scene. In fact, Benny is talking about this right now, the selfie moment.
Right.
Let's talk about this.
I love this story because it's both light and deeply symbolic. After the state banquet, President Lee Jae-myung shared a photo on social media showing him taking a selfie with President Xi and their spouses using a Xiaomi smartphone that she had gifted him, President Lee Jae-myung, during the Gyeongju APEC meeting in November. Xiaomi selfie during a summit dinner, that's such a modern twist on diplomatic imagery. It absolutely humanizes the encounter. And E even captioned it jokingly, is the image quality good? Thanks to you, I got the picture of a lifetime. 화질은 확실하죠? 덕분에 인생샷 건졌습니다. In Korean. And it shows how soft diplomacy, trust, warmth, and humor can play a role alongside the hard politics.
I'm telling you, there was a... What was it, when they met during the APEC summit and then he was gifted the Xiaomi phone and then President Yi.
Have you checked the backdrop?
He joked around, right? I mean, he was basically saying, "What is this phone bugged?" Right? But it was a joke.
Right. And President Xi
Took it as a joke.
Yes, he took
it
as a joke.
He did because he laughed. But I was like, the whole time I was like,
uh-oh.
What's the translator gonna say? The translator's gonna say it right but it was kind of a laughing moment.
Right.
And sometimes we need that. Sometimes we need that.
We do.
But it does sound like this visit was not just diplomatic, but historic in some ways too.
Definitely. President Lee Jae-myung described the summit as a crucial opportunity to make 2026 the inaugural year of full restoration of Korea-China relations, stressing the deep historical ties between the two nations that go back thousands of years. And he referenced past cooperation when both countries faced loss of sovereignty and pointed to that shared history as a foundation for renewed cooperation. And from China's side, she emphasized continuity and willingness to deepen cooperation, underscoring the importance of stable and mutually beneficial relations.
But also, again, this visit, not just about the Seoul-Beijing summit talks. There's a lot happening too.
Right. After the summit, Yi also met China's second and third in power, Premier Li Chang and Zhao Liuji, ahead of the Chinese legislature to talk economic and cultural cooperation. Then President Lee Jae-myung will travel to Shanghai, where he is set to visit the site of the Korean Provisional Government, commemorating 150 years since the birth of Kim Gu and 100 years since the establishment of the Shanghai Korean Provisional Government building itself. And this added a deep cultural and historical layer to the state visit, connecting modern diplomatic goals to a shared East Asian historical experience of resistance, self-determination, and memory.
Now, this is major because a few years ago, there was talks about because there was a lack of tourists coming to the Korean Provisional Government in Shanghai that they were thinking about just kind of getting rid of it.
Right.
But it's
as a part of the redevelopment project, right?
Yeah. But I mean, this is a major part of our history. And so hopefully this visit does kind of leave the place in place for a while. So overall, though, Stanley, what does this trip mean? What should we understand about the Korea-China relations after Yi's visit to China?
If this visit shows anything, it's that, again, pragmatic diplomacy is back in the spotlight, with both sides eager to move beyond the tension toward strategic cooperation in economy, technology, peace efforts on the Korean Peninsula, and hopefully more cultural exchanges in the future. And the selfie moment, long talks and the historical visits together paint a picture of diplomacy with personality and purpose, something that resonates with people on both sides of the border, despite some complicated issues or sentiments, both home and abroad.
I'm telling you right now that, since there was a lot of, shaky stuff happening diplomatically with the previous administration, seeing that everything is going smooth with all the diplomatic, visits and talks and summits that we had so far, it's a good feeling.
Right.
We'll continue to talk about our last major issue of the past week in just a bit. That's all coming up next. But first, let's take a listen to a song from NMIX with Break the Wall.
Right now,
We're back in the studio for a special issue task force, and San's joining us to talk about the major issues. We're gonna turn to something that tells us how much K-culture is capturing hearts both here and around the world.
Right.
Last year, visits to Korea's royal palaces, Jongmyo Shrine, the Joseon royal tombs, hit an all-time high, a sign that traditional Korean heritage is seeing global and domestic renaissance. Seong, tell us about this.
Yeah, when was the last time you visited one of these royal palaces?
I went to the Gyeongbokgung Palace last year.
Last year.
With, who did I go with?
Kids?
No, it wasn't.
Your wife?
No. It was
Filming?
definitely, no. It was. I think someone was visiting. So I think someone was visiting. And I
Your
took him there.
invisible friend, maybe.
Oh, and also I
Right?
went to and also I went to the palace in Jeonju
Oh,
the year before that.
Nice.
When was the last time you went?
A few years ago. And I really
so I was
want
more
to visit.
recently. You act like I don't go, and she's going a few years ago.
A lot of people are actually visiting royal palaces these days. According to data released by the Cultural Heritage Administration's Palace and Royal Tombs Division, a total of 17.8 million people visited 경복궁, 창덕궁, 창경궁, 덕수궁, 종묘 Shrine, and the Joseon Royal Tombs in 2025, a new historic high. That's about 12.8% higher than the roughly 15.8 million visits in 2024. And this number is still provisional. Some late December entries from 창덕궁 and 창경궁 may bump it up even further. They are still counting. For context, during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2021, the combined visitor total was just under 6.7 million. But since 2022, visitors have exceeded 10 million each year. And for the past 3 years, records have been broken one after another. 14.3 million in 2023, 15.8 in 2024, and now 17.8 million in 2025. And this tells her that interest in Korea's heritage sites has not only rebounded, but grown stronger than ever, thanks to many different elements. And that we are going to talk about later on.
This is pretty impressive, the numbers.
Right.
No, John, I didn't go with James. James went on his own. James went on like a crazy, like he went on
one of your few friends.
few friends. My
James.
few friends? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm not hanging out with you anymore.
Oh,
No, I did not go with James. It was not that. It might have been work,
it was
actually.
his invisible friend. Or
Bullying.
초록이.
Say,
초록이.
I did not go with Chorogi. Was there a clear favorite among these historic places?
Oh, there certainly was. 경복궁 Palace
Yeah.
stood out as the most visited site in 2025, drawing about 6.89 million visitors, which is almost 39% of the total palace and tomb visits. And following 경복궁, 덕수궁 Palace recorded about 3.56 million. In case of 창덕궁 Palace, about 2.2 million visited. 창경궁 recorded about 1.60 million. Joseon Royal Tombs about 2.78 million, and 종묘 Shrine about 760,000 visitors, and almost double from 2024.
No,
that
it's
is.
always the Gyeongbokgung Palace because it's like so easy, like accessible.
Right.
Like it's just there. Like for some reason, I have not been to any of the other palaces
You can
in
just
Seoul.
take the line 3 to get to Gyeongbokgung Palace.
Yeah. And like it's like right there.
Right there.
Like it's right there, right? Like other ones you kind of have to like,
Right.
travel and go.
In front of the Admiral Lee Sun-shin's statue, right? Gyeongbokgung
Yes,
Palace.
yes, exactly. That's why that's why a lot of people go there,
Right.
and it's big. Those numbers reflect real enthusiasm, right? But do we know why more people are showing up more than ever, though?
Yes, several factors likely contributed. First, in case of 종묘 Shrine, its restoration and reopening was a great factor. 종묘 completed major restoration of its 정전 main hall in April 2025, and the shrine, the ancestral temple, where memorial rites are offered for past kings and queens of the Joseon dynasty, drew renewed interest through special opening events and nighttime music programs featuring 종묘 제례악, traditional royal ritual music and dance. And enhanced visitor programs is another reason. Across the palaces, authorities introduced expanded tours, multimedia audio guides, and themed programs that make these historic spaces more accessible and engaging for international visitors and families. And last but not least, global curiosity about Korean traditional culture is one of the biggest reasons. The rise of popularity of animated film, K-pop Demon Hunters, inspired by K-culture, K-dramas, historical storytelling online, and different coverages of palaces like 경복궁 and 창덕궁, often featured in streaming shows, have sparked global curiosity. So combine that with easier travel, and heritage sites become must-visit destinations. And the popularity of heritage tourism has just skyrocketed.
Like, just a bit of recommendation for any of our listeners that plan to go to any of these palaces. You should probably use a tour guide because, like, if you go on like it happens to me all the time. I just get lost.
Oh.
and you don't really get to see everything that's there.
Right.
Right. But if you have a tour guide, they'll take you to every little corner, and it's pretty fascinating. But like,
great idea.
You get tired afterwards, and you're just like, man, I'm lost. I'm just gonna go back. Right. And because also the admissions are so cheap, they just go like, oh well. But get a guide.
I don't recommend visiting these palaces when it's too hot or too cold.
That's true too.
Right.
That's true too. Which is why like fall is the best.
Right.
Fall is the best.
Perfect.
So again, it's not the Koreans exploring their heritage. Foreigners, thanks to many cultural contents, TV shows and movies and things like that, they're coming too.
Yes, in larger numbers than ever. Last year, about 4.27 million foreign visitors toured these royal sites, up 34.4% from around 3.18 million in 2024. That means roughly 1 in 4 visitors at Korea's historic palaces and tombs were international travelers. And at Gyeongbokgung Palace specifically, foreign visitors accounted for about 40.4% of all visitors, while at Jongmyo Shrine, they were about 16.8% of the total. And this tells us 2 things. Korean history is resonating with global audiences, and Korea's promotion of cultural heritage is working well internationally.
Yes, James did all of this by himself. But if anyone of you guys want to come to Korea and you want to know how to squeeze in like 2 weeks of checking out Korea, go ask James. I don't know. He saw more in the 2 weeks that I did in my 16 years here.
Do you know his MBTI? I think it's a Super J.
Is it a Super J?
He planned things very well
Is
in
he?
advance, right?
I mean, I don't know how he did. He looked at everything.
James, let us know your MBTI if you know yours.
Yes. Very quickly, though, Sam, with the numbers this big, there are some policy conversations underway, too.
Yeah, there are. The Cultural Heritage Administration is considering adjusting admission fees for palaces and royal tombs for the first time since 2005. Officials argue that after nearly 20 years of frozen prices, an update could help sustain preservation efforts and improve visitor services. And President Lee Jae-myung, during a December briefing, commented that any adjustment should be done through a convincing process, balancing preservation funding with accessibility for the public. So that's a discussion to watch this year.
You know, like there are certain times when, no one likes
free.
it when you raise the price, right? But there are times where you're just like, yeah. Like the Seoul Metro.
Right.
Seoul Metro is so cheap, but we get such good service that if you're going to raise the price, all right. And this is another one.
For some of the palaces, the admission fee is even free.
For foreigners, I think.
During holidays.
During holidays, it's free.
Like Chuseok,
there's discounts
holidays.
for foreigners, including me. And if not, it's
yes,
it's
you are foreigner.
It's 2001.
Right.
But if you put it up to like 3,000, that's a 50% increase. That's not going to make anyone mad, right? They'll still go. That's what I think. Anyways, he's an INTJ?
INTJ.
I'm an INTJ.
I got it right. He's J.
There's no way he's an INTJ. I'm an INTJ. That's weird.
That's what makes 2 of you besties.
I thought I didn't have friends.
We are.
I thought we didn't have friends.
Can I
Seong,
call you a friend?
no. Seong,
friend.
thank you very much for the
Bye, my
updates
friend.
today.
I'll see you next week, friend.
We'll see you again next week. Sending her out of the studio, this is Mama Moo with Wow.